And I want to turn the microphone over to someone who knows firsthand what happens when you take on these out-of-state special interests. My good friend, Republican former Representative Julie Yamamoto.
So I'll start off by saying that I usually aggravate people by this comment alone. I am as conservative as anyone needs to be. I am a Republican, but when I read the GOP platform, I don't recognize my tribe anymore. And I'm going to keep to just this and say it has been a long-standing conservative principle that if you wanted something and you could afford it, have at it. But if you can't afford it, you don't get to put your hand in somebody else's pocket and take that money so that you can have what you think you want and you need. And when we talked about out of state, it's in state too. I was at a Republican GOP fundraiser and the chairman, Moon, pushed me in front of someone and said, "You need to talk to her." And the fellow said, "I want you to know that I put out $750,000 to candidates who will deliver me a voucher. What do you think of that?" And I said, "Well, that's a lot of money." And I walked away. But what I wish I would have said is that, you know what, if you would have put that money out for people to have $5,000, you could have paid for 150 kids to have that $5,000 to have the school choice that you believe that they deserve. And I'm thinking he'd probably say to me, "Well, I don't have to pay that every year." And I would say, "I know." And then I would say, I was an elementary principal, a high school principal, I opened a charter school, I'm still on the board of charter schools. Do I believe in choice? Do I believe that every kid deserves to have an education that fits them? I sure do. And if Idaho is behind 66 million for special ed right now, 50 million still doesn't fill the bill.
Yes.
That's concerning, isn't it? If we're really saying that we care about every child, then let's put our money where our mouth is and let's fund the public schools. I can't even begin to tell you how many parents came to me and their child wasn't in special ed, didn't have a 504, but had specific needs that they wished that we could meet. And I had teachers. I'm telling you right now, I never met a teacher who thought the public schools were perfect. Not a one. They had all kinds of ways that we could better meet the needs of students. $50 million wouldn't do it, but it would be nice. It would be hopeful. So if we really believe that the public schools aren't meeting those needs, well then let's set up whatever it was you want accountability-wise. I'm good with the parent survey to say we're going to take that 50 million and parents, you get to tell us what those needs are, and to the best of our ability we're going to do that. And I'm just going to tell you right now, a lot of parents will say, "I want a one-on-one aid for my students," because they have a hard time staying focused. Some teachers would say, "Yep, that's a great idea," and some teachers would say, "That's not a great idea." That child stands out, that child never learns how they need to self-monitor, how they need to be a self-directed learner. So you have to count on a partnership between the student, the parent, and the school to come up with a plan that works. And I'm just here to tell you, did I see eye to eye with every teacher? Some of them rose up and called me blessed, and others called me names I will not repeat here. But here's the deal. The biggest complaint I got is that I was child-centered. I'll take that into account. So I try really hard not to be snarky because I just don't think it's how we need to be. So this remark is meant to not sounds snarky, and I just think it's probably going to anyway, but to have 28 brave people in the House of Representatives who have read their Constitution and understand what it says about what is the proper role of government in regard to educating our youth, I thank God for them. It is not easy to stand up against all of those voices who are telling you you need to wear the team jersey, you don't care about individual kids, you need to please this person or that person, it's not going to go well for you in the next primary. I get all of that. But do we actually really care about every child in the state of Idaho? I'm going to say it again. If we do, then come on, Idaho. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's stop starving the public school and to being happy that calling us failing when we're punching way above our weight on every measure, including NAEP, and people who are reading that, we just need to talk. You need to understand what it's telling you. And I won't bore you with that, just to say, we have an opportunity. Governor Little has made it his legacy that we are going to be a state that values education, public education. And I think we need to hold ourselves accountable to that. And I would ask that you would do what is ever in your power to ask the people that make the vote to think long and hard about this Pandora's box they are about to open. And we can see what has happened in every other state. And I always think Idaho's the best too. But to think we're going to do it differently, I just don't see that being a rational, reasonable argument. So thank you for this opportunity.